Welcome back to the Tracy Take. Today, Ryan and I will be reviewing the Carolina Panthers season, who are picking 6th overall in the upcoming NFL draft. But before we get into that, Ryan and I, we have a goal of getting to 400 subscribers by Super Bowl weekend, which is now just less than 2 weeks away. So any help would be greatly appreciated. So subscribe to this channel if you have not already. Like this video, comment on what you think the Panthers need to do in the offseason to, I guess, just be better, and share this video with your friends. And Ryan, let's get into it. So if this is your first time watching one of these reviews, normally what Ryan and I like to do is we like to go into what was good, then what was bad, and then kind of what was something that they should address in the offseason. And clearly I am a Falcons fan, so I am an NFC South rival. And I mean this, I'm not trying to poke fun at the Panthers because the Falcons didn't do well either, but I was thinking about this before going into this video. What went well for the Panthers this season? Like I'm generally they're what?
Their offense with Christian McCaffrey in the lineup was good.
Well, yeah, but we knew that though. I mean, we knew how great this offense would be when he's healthy.
And then I think they definitely have good skill position guys in DJ Moore, Robbie Anderson. I like Tommy Tremble and Ian Anderson. Ian Thomas is the other tight end. I think those are good tight ends. I don't think. I mean, it's nothing to write home about. But I think skill position wise on offense that they're really good. And for me,
I mean, maybe.
I think that is positives going forward. They did start out 3-0. Granted, I'm pretty sure they played like the
Jets,
like the Jets, Giants, and Texans. I think in the first 3 weeks,
something like that.
But
the Broncos,
I mean, and I think their defense has a lot of talent on it. Hassan Reddick is a free agent, but if they can bring him back, him and Brian Burns were a good combination. Along with, I forgot their safety's name. Jeremy Chinn, and then they have C.J. Henderson and Jaycee Horn from this past draft. I think they have a lot of like good talent. Mm-hmm. I think just bringing it all together for me is kind of what they really need. So,
and that is fair with Hassan Reddick and also Brian Burns, both combined for 20 sacks on the year.
Yeah,
they did have a sack wise. They did have 38 sacks, which was 12th in the league overall. And I did like Jaycee Horn, but then he got hurt in the same game that Christian McCaffrey did. But Jaycee Horn, and I think he does have a lot of potential, but I think they were decimated with injuries, this offensive line. The only positive thing really on the offensive side that I could see was Taylor Morton. I think I misspelled his name, but he was a 77.8 overall grade at the right tackle position. But other than that, I mean, what was good? I mean, we got to make fun of Cam Newton again, with the whole I'm back.
Sam Darnold disproved our Jets theory from last year's offseason.
To play devil's advocate, and I agree. I'm not saying that Sam Darnold's still the answer, but I think the Panthers were the second worst offensive line in the league, worse than the Falcons.
Yeah, 31st.
And so that continues the Sam Darnold trend. And I'm not saying that put a good offensive line in front of him, he's going to be great, but you can't be successful with an offensive line that is abysmal. But even on the offensive side of the ball, it's like, you mentioned DJ Moore and Robbie Anderson, and I agree. I think those are two solid weapons. But DJ Moore had less yards than he did last year by 40 yards or so similar year. Robbie Anderson had fewer than 500 yards than he did last year. Last year he had 1,096 yards playing 16 games, and I'm pretty sure he played 17 games this year. Maybe still 16, but still he only had 519 receiving yards on 53 catches. So, I think a lot of that has to do with who's playing QB. A lot of that has to do with Christian McCaffrey being out. A lot of that has to do with the weak offensive line. But you're just looking at all these numbers. Everyone regressed on the offensive side of the ball, and I think it stems from the how weak the offensive line is. And this is this is me. I kind of went straight into the bad. And you did mention some good things, but with a 6th overall pick. Luckily for the Panthers, there's several great young talent that should be available for an offensive line pick, because that's where I think you immediately need to address if you want any shot of having a reasonably respectable team. Especially in an NFC South division next year, that might be wide open if Sean Payton's not there, and if Tom Brady did officially retire, or if he is out of Tampa, who knows? We don't really know kind of what's going on with that whole situation. But not trying to be Debbie Downer, but that was just how I saw it, because you're right, they started out so hot.
Yeah, and definitely I think they spread out defenses a lot, and they kind of allowed this offensive line to be they were able to kind of patch it early, but then as soon as some of those key guys like Christian McCaffrey got hurt, they weren't able to do the same thing that they wanted to do with Chuba Hubbard. So I definitely think that is something to address in the offseason, is that offensive line. And I do want to point out another bad. I'm going to go with team defense. So they were 21st on team defense, but again, I'm going to kind of point the finger back at the offense. I think the offensive inefficiencies really put this team in a bad position, because if you look, they were 4th in passing, in passing defense, and they were 18th in rushing. And to me, I think Brian Burns, Hassan Reddick, Derrick Brown up front, they're all good pieces. This team should not have been 18th in rushing, and I think it's just because they got worn down as games went on, because they had to play so many snaps.
Well, and that's a great point too, because when your offense can't put points up on the board, your defense can only do so much, and then in the second half of games, if you're down 17-6, and you know that the offense, when the opposing team knows that you can't throw the ball, they're just going to run the ball every single time. They're going to stack, like you could stack the box and maybe stop them 3 and out, but then you're going to go get a 3 and out. Like they're going to go get a 3 and out. They're just trying to just kill the clock. And I think that's a great point on with them being ranked 18th, because you're right. Everyone was running the ball. Heck, even the Falcons ran the ball against them when they could, because they knew, hey, if we don't get it, we're going to be able to stop their offense, because it was just absolutely just absolutely abysmal.
Yeah, and so I think for me, I think that a lot of their problems really stem from the offensive line just not being able to keep Sam Darnold upright, give Christian McCaffrey the help that he needs, because, I mean, when he's out there, he is a threat, good offensive line or not. Like, he can take any play to the house. And I just think that this offensive line is the biggest weakness on this team. And if they can improve this offensive line, I really think that this team has a chance to win the division next year, just because it is so wide open. I mean, who knows where the Falcons are going to be? Who knows where the Saints are going to be? And the Bucs, if Tom Brady comes back, will obviously be the favorite. But I think right now it's 50-50. This is the closest I think he's ever been to actually retiring.
Yeah.
And I just think this division is for the taking, and this could be the NFC East of 2 years ago, where a 7-9 team wins.
Yeah,
or I guess an 8-9.
8-9 would be now. Heck, 7-10 wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility.
No, yeah. So I definitely think offensive line. To name a few players that I would specifically like to see them take: Charles Cross, Akim Ekwonu. Evan Neal is probably going to be gone by 6.
They would gladly take him, but there's no way he gets past Jacksonville, New York Jets, New York Giants, particularly Houston Texans. There's no way he gets past all those teams.
Yeah, and so that for me, I think is where they're going to go. I think Charles Cross is probably the most left tackle ready prospect, and there's a lot of guys later on in the draft, like Thayer Munford out of Ohio State, Zion
Williamson. He's going to do
Zion
crossover.
Johnson. No. I think it's Zion Johnson.
Oh, okay.
Out of Boston College. Just a lot of very versatile guard positions. Another guy that I think might be a little bit of a sleeper for them would be Tyler Linderbaum out of Iowa. If somebody trades up and drafts Charles Cross before them, or if they want to trade back and acquire more picks, I think it would be possible for the Panthers to maybe take Linderbaum a little later. It really just kind of depends. This is going to be an interesting draft that night, and there may be a lot of movement or there may be none at all. So I definitely think offensive line in the trenches is where they need to draft and improve in free agency.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I mean, I know that's the thing that I preach a lot, but it couldn't be more evident with this Panthers team. Because you're right, you mentioned all the skill players they have. Chuba Hubbard, I will say, it was a shout-out. I thought he did a fine job filling in for his rookie year. But, yeah, that offensive line needs to be improved if this team wants to be considered competitive. So,
yeah, exactly. Because, I mean, they just get blown off the ball. But and I think that if they fix that solves a lot of their problems. I think their pass defense is already really good, and I think their rushing will only improve based off of their offense being more effective and having them have to take less snaps in a game. So
what I hear you saying is Sam Darnold will be MVP next year. Is that what you're saying?
No. Sam Darnold. I think if they can improve this offensive line, I think Sam Darnold has the potential to be an above-average starter.
So
that means top 15.
So I will say that's going to pose a question. I'm curious for the Panthers fans. Do you think Sam Darnold even gets a chance next year, or do you think because it's not like last year's QB draft, and this will be just my final question to be thought, because like you saw the offensive line issues. You go and draft a quarterback this year, you're just putting him in the same scenario as Cam Newton, P.J. Walker. Sam Darnold, I think at least he's been in the system for a year. Not saying he's going to be your saving grace. He could have a Jimmy Garoppolo-like year if this is Jimmy's last year with the Niners. Yeah. But it's just a placeholder, because you're just trying to get the pieces together for the next guy.
Yeah, no, exactly. And I think hopefully next year's quarterback class will be a little stronger. We can have a few more highly touted prospects. But I think right now, I don't think that they will have the cap room to go out and get a guy like Jimmy G, especially since they are paying Cam Newton, P.J. Walker, and Sam Darnold. I think that they're pretty spread thin at the quarterback position, or pretty spread thin in cap for to add at the quarterback position.
Yeah, they do have only $20 million.
Yeah, I do think it'll be interesting to kind of see how they go about this offseason. But I think what they need is very clear, and that is to rebuild this offensive line. So, Panthers fans, let us know what you think they should do in the offseason down in the comments. Do you think they should roll with Darnold? Maybe give Cam Newton another shot in this offense? Or maybe roll with P.J. Walker, maybe tank it for a year and try and get a highly touted guy next season. But if you have not already, please go ahead and like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below on what you think they should do and help Tyler and I reach our goal of hitting 400 subscribers by Super Bowl Sunday. And other than that, I think we'll see you guys next time.